Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the January 8, 2026 special meeting of the Inspector General Committee. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and Madam Clerk, would you call the roll?
State Attorney Alexia Cox. Present. Vice Chair Cruz.
Here.
Public Defender Daniel Eisinger. Chair Crydell. Commissioner Kugler.
Here.
Commissioner Romano.
Here.
Commissioner Vara Garcia.
Present.
Thank you.
Do any of our commissioners have any introductory comments? Okay, no. All right. The first thing I'd like to do is have a motion for approval of the Inspector General Committee meeting minutes of November 6, 2025, which you will have. Motion by Commissioner Kugler.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Vara Garcia. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, passed. All right, the reason we're really here is to get the hiring process for the next Inspector General started, and I think we have County Attorney and County HR both here. And could you come up the HR department, and maybe we could, one of the first things we have is a job description. Actually, could you identify yourself for the record?
Sure, certainly. Good afternoon. I am Paul Mattiotto. I'm the recruitment manager for the county.
Okay, thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
We have our draft job description in our packet and it was also emailed to you earlier. And I guess the first order of business, we approve the job description.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is something that's been vetted through our compensation and records section in Human Resources, and it's in relation to obviously the Inspector General ordinance because we want to obviously dovetail with the ordinance.
Okay. Does anyone have any comments that's had a chance to review it? Our commissioners. Yeah, so the state attorney and the public defender look like they're okay with everything? Okay. All right. Could I have a motion for approving the job description as proposed?
Motion to approve the job description.
Motion by Commissioner Kugler, second by Commissioner Vara Garcia. Any other discussion? All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Okay. And now we get to the advertising process here. And what would you recommend?
Certainly.
For that?
So we have a proposed job advertisement, and what we're currently proposing is an advertisement that runs approximately 2 weeks. So I pulled our records from the last recruitment process for the IG, which was in 2014. We advertised then for approximately 1 month, and we received 69 applications, of which many of them were not relevant experience. So my proposal is that we advertise for a more condensed period of time, being cognizant of the timeline that we have, for approximately 2 weeks, and we can shift dates.
How soon would you be able to start it?
We could have it out tomorrow.
Oh, okay. All right. Yes, Commissioner Romano.
Knowing the potential people that this is going to go out to, is 2 weeks going to give them enough time to respond? I mean, I know the general public wouldn't even be aware of it, but in that kind of time.
Yeah, so if I may, I'll talk a little bit about the sources that we'll use for this particular recruitment process. So they'll go on the county website. We'll also go on Indeed, which is more of a general job board, but I think the most important advertising tool is that we focus on really an industry-specific source, and that would be the Association of Inspectors General. And I've already contacted our external advertising agency to get them prepped for this. We've had success using it before, and we can certainly extend it for another week or two. What I'm aware of, though, is what we had last time, which is almost 70 applications, of which a number of them were not really relevant. And so really having a more focused recruitment process, both in terms of the sources and the time itself. I'm also proposing that we've created an email account which is going to be igrecruitment@pbc.gov, where they'll simply send in their resume, their cover letter, and their salary requirements to, which obviates the need for them to go through the standard county application process, which would require them to create an account in our job application system. I want to make this as seamless as possible for any interested candidate. And I think being able to just simply provide a resume, cover letter, and salary requirements is going to be more expeditious for most candidates than going through, again, the standard county application tracking system process.
Yeah. Thank you for that part.
Certainly.
Commissioner Romano, do you?
If we allowed 15 business days, would that be a problem,
It wouldn't.
timing?
It wouldn't.
I'd feel more comfortable with
Okay.
15 business days if nobody objects.
I don't know.
It's not a hill I'll die on.
Thank you. Madam State Attorney?
No objection. I just have one question. Can you remind us of what the timeline?
I think you flip up your mic.
Sorry.
When are you out the door?
Can you remind us of what the timeline is that we're working with?
Sure. It's my understanding Mr. Carey will be leaving in June. And I think, it's important to start this process, fairly soon here. 5 months seems like a long time, but it goes by quickly. And obviously, there's going to be multiple steps in this process, which involve reviewing of the applications. It involves, obviously, the selection process, the interview process itself. It's going to involve making a decision on the candidate. It's going to involve, obviously, coming to a contract with the candidate, and that contract going in front of the board for approval, and being able to, for that candidate, if they're an external candidate, not employed, currently within the IG's office, to be able to provide an appropriate amount of notice, which for this position and the types of candidates that I think the requirements of the position are looking for is probably at least a month's notice. So I think it's important to kind of back out that timeline, in light of those facts.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Public Defender.
Hi. Are these the same minimum qualifications we had the last time the job was posted?
So I have the last advertisement with me. It does require a bachelor's degree from an accredited college or university, as it currently does. 10 years of responsible work in federal, state, or local law enforcement, or as a federal or state court judge, or as a federal, state, or local government attorney with expertise in investigating fraud, mismanagement, corruption. And then going through the rest of them, they're the same.
They're the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wondered if there was a way to increase the qualifications some to narrow the.
Well, good point that you bring that up. There is a preferred section right below.
That was what was added.
I believe, I'm not sure that was there back in 2014.
We, in 2014 it was,
Oh, okay.
yes. We had
I wasn't born yet, but, no, yeah.
We had some variations. Actually, we don't. It's the same preferred qualifications. So it's obviously based on certifications is what was driving it back in 2014.
So I was going to just follow on with you, Dan. Are you suggesting perhaps we put the preferred in, some of the preferred in the minimum qualifications?
It's kind of what I was thinking, yeah.
All right, Commissioner Romano, did you?
I think that's what we had reached consensus on last time, that, to be blunt about it, we don't want to interview people that are less qualified than Calinthia. We want to interview people that think they're as qualified or more qualified. And so that was kind of the compromise. I think you came up with it, which I thought was brilliant.
Well, thanks. No, I just,
Okay.
do you remember how many judges, for example, do you know how many judges from around wherever the country or the state applied?
In the 2014?
Yeah.
I don't, unfortunately. I don't.
I think we have our county attorney's office here. Yes, sir.
David Behar with the County Attorney's Office. Just to ensure compliance with the ordinance, it does write that highly qualified candidates will also have those credentials. I would recommend that that be used as a bonus, not as a minimum to apply, to be in compliance with the ordinance.
So the preferred, as it's written now, would suffice?
Yeah, I would recommend going with that just to ensure compliance with the ordinance.
Okay,
So nobody can challenge that we're customizing
right.
the
Correct.
job description. Fair enough.
Mr. Public Defender, does that satisfy you?
I suppose. I mean, I think we're all trying to make sure that we get a smaller but highly qualified group of applicants. And it sounds like that wasn't necessarily the case back.
I think it was more the volume.
Right.
Obviously you got a highly qualified candidate last time, but I would certainly seeking the committee's direction, and I would propose, according to the ordinance, it implies that you review all the resumes that are submitted.
That was going to be our next question. Do you vet the people that are obviously not qualified, or do you have to bring everybody who sends something in to us?
So I propose giving you two groups, one with relevant experience and qualifications, and one without. So that way I'm compliant with the ordinance, where you're able to see all the resumes, but I'm doing some initial screening of it.
Do we have to look at both groups?
So all resumes do need to be forwarded to the commission. That's in the ordinance. The vetting, I want to be careful to make that the minimum qualifications being satisfied as set forth in the ordinance, no subjective analysis on behalf of staff, and that's to comply with Sunshine. So all resumes will be sent to you, and you can individually look at those and make determinations, but they can be sorted into stacks of these check the 10-year mark, the 4-year requirement, and things like that, and these do not. But all do need to go to the commission per the ordinance.
Okay.
Kind of pre-sort them so that we can go through them more quickly.
Certainly.
I just remember the process for hiring the county attorney was a little unusual, but anyway, okay. Yes, Mr. Public Defender.
And do we, can we review these individually on our own, or do we need to look at them as a group?
So you can review them individually.
Okay.
You just cannot discuss them with any other committee member.
Yeah. And you will wait till after the closing, then you'll send it all at one time?
Yes.
Okay. Yes,
In terms of timing, I know the proposed says it would be issued on the 14th of January. You indicated that you potentially could get it posted tomorrow. Obviously, probably the 12th is more.
Tomorrow should be fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So then if we did the 15 days, like Commissioner Romano was suggesting, that would get us to the 29th, and then hopefully maybe give us a couple days before the February meeting, if,
I guess we would have to, maybe have to set a special meeting.
right.
Because,
if we
yeah,
did
we would have,
special meeting
yes, and we have to
February
post that one.
Commission meeting.
So I can, once the position's closed, I can send to the committee the two stacks of resumes. And I'll be evaluating them as they come in. So to try expedite the process.
Okay. All right, so if I understand where we are now, we propose starting the 15-day business days period next Monday for 15 business days. Or tomorrow? You said tomorrow, right? Okay, you
We
said
can
the
get it out
12th, that's
tomorrow,
that? But
yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, I didn't know if tomorrow was too soon.
Okay,
But yeah,
we'll start
he
it
said he
tomorrow,
could do
okay?
tomorrow,
If that's
so-
okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
Start it tomorrow, okay. And the job description as written has been accepted, and the HR department has told us how they will sort the applications. Do we have to set our next meeting today, or do we?
I think probably for notice requirements. I think.
Yeah, the notice is, Mr. County Attorney.
So there's no requirement to set it today. We just have to ensure that, it's properly noticed, as your meetings typically are, through the county's advertisement process, but you don't need to announce a meeting today if you
Because
don't.
we have to make sure the room is available if we're not one of our regular,
Now, logistically, there might be other issues.
Yeah.
I'm talking from the legal side, but yeah, there might be practical issues where you would want to set that meeting sooner than later.
okay.
Yeah.
Does anybody want to try to set the meeting today?
Yeah, I think it makes sense to try
Okay.
to set the meeting today, and if we can, do
Oh,
it
you've
at
got
the
your
next
calendar
commission-
right up there?
If we can do it at the next commission meeting,
February.
Right after the Ethics Commission?
yeah.
Okay, which
We've
is,
got sufficient time, and that would give us.
Like a week.
A couple of days, maybe a week to go through all of those qualifications.
okay, so the next Ethics Commission is scheduled for?
February 5? February 5.
Okay, so perhaps we could schedule it at 2 o'clock. Well, maybe someone over, you never know what's on the agenda. 2:30?
How
2:30?
about as soon after the,
As soon as the conclusion of the Ethics Commission meeting, which starts at 1:30.
doable for the Inspector General's office to be on standby, so we can get right into it?
If I may,
County Attorney, yes, please.
It is better to have a set time, just for the public, like you did today, and then that way the public would know.
So if you say 2, but don't get to it until 2:30, is that a
That,
problem?
that's totally fine. That would be fine. You just can't go
Okay.
before 2. You can go after.
Okay, all right, so we'll set it 2 o'clock on February 5th?
February 5th.
Okay. All right. I think we've done everything we needed to do, and you're set to go tomorrow.
Yep, okay. So we'll have it advertised. It'll start advertising tomorrow. It'll close, tomorrow is the 9th, so it'll close on the 30th. And we'll, after that, at 5 PM,
Okay,
I'll send you the 2 groups of resumes. And so the February 5th meeting would be for the committee to narrow down, if there is a requirement to narrow down the candidates selected for interview.
all right.
Okay.
Thank you. County Attorney's Office is okay with that?
No issues here.
Okay.
If the advertisement closes on the 30th, at the end of business, that's a Friday. So does that give you, can you all get everything to us on that Monday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll be reviewing them as they come in, to just do initial triage.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the committee?
Nicely run
Okay.
meeting,
All right,
Commissioner
right.
Cruz.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, the special meeting of the Inspector General Committee is adjourned. Thank you.